Okay guys, I don't know if you can hear me because I got no microphone and I'm under the high voltage. Thank you so much for supporting me on the comments. That's lovely. I thank you. Wait. Yeah, so the end of April, manic April, we are shifting codependency. I figured it out finally. You know, it's a big subject. I found a full book about it in the library because I started to experience something I couldn't really... I did not know what I'm experiencing. Sort of like this constant anger. But anger, frustration, but in a way that is not really like the way I know anger to be. And I know there are anger issues in my family lineage, so I started to actually experiencing that. And obviously we are progressing the family lineages, so have a look on your family lineage. What is dominant there? Is it alcohol? If there are addictions, you have to have a look on the codependency, because even though if you don't have any problem with the addictions, if your father, for example, was an addict, you yourself became a codependent, which is really interesting. So I'm diving deep into that book because it just blew my socks off, and you're gonna be waking up every day now with a profound revelations around what you experiencing. And you can do this consciously before you go sleep. You can set intention. Somebody was asking me, what should I do if I find myself standing on the old timeline? Well, already the fact that you're recognizing it, you're done with it, right? The problem is that once you're repeating it, then you have to understand why you're repeating it. Sometimes it could go, the rabbit hole goes really deep, and I don't think that you all gonna be having those experiences like I do, because I took the full spectrum to be honest, of all the core limiting beliefs, betrayed by the family, the core trauma from the primary caregiver. That's a big one, mother. So what the messages I got lately was the flowers in your mind and the wicked games. We are progressing as well, discovering as well these curses that the entire family lineage and ancestors went through, with all those years. I consider, none of them were doing a fucking shadow work. If you are on a spiritual path and you're the only one, welcome to the club. I'm the only one who progressing the family lineage. Both. And there is addictions and alcohol, and if you are living in depression, so I understand my mother pattern, and they live all together in the same house, and there is a massive manipulation. The book about codependent no more is absolutely phenomenal. I will be sharing now these bits and pieces. We can take the strategies you, for example, having. And here comes the anger. The anger towards parents is one thing, but as a codependent, you gonna be angry, and the anger is gonna be towards it's big. I will read it for you next time, and you will see if you can find yourself in it. Another thing, we are repeating again 2017 and the other years between until now. You're gonna be dragged in the rejection situations, and there where you were, let's say I was rejected multiple times in the art world. I don't belong in the art world, so my limiting belief, I don't belong into the art world, I don't belong anywhere, it's kind of my stuff. But so your one will be different. I was rejected in the art world many times. This time I reached out because I wanted some funding, so I wanted to pull the plug because of the codependency. I still don't understand the entire spectrum of it, because I have a pain as well in my left leg. This is the mother side, so that comes from the family lineage there. So I'm that's kind of a new for me. It's raining, so. The robin bird is my divine bird. I'm not gonna go to the freeway. I hate that spot, but I hope you're gonna hear it. There is the high voltage. It's there. Crazy. It doesn't rock me anymore. That's really good. I made shift from the fear and as well from not belonging. A lot of the chosen ones belong to themselves. You are being prepared to be the vessel through which your higher self is gonna be like operating. That's why you cannot have any attachments to the 3D and to you know, to the 3D lot. Rejection is redirection. That's one thing what I want to tell you. Rejection is redirection. If universe is shutting door, I will have to go under the trees. If universe is shutting door on something for you, that's because you've been there already before. So let's say, I give you example, you were doing some practices and then like you open up, I don't know, services, right? You start offering the services. Just to find yourself in a situation when, like in the competitive field, and you were clearly not prepared enough because you didn't go deeper. So that's one example. So you're gonna find yourself in the same situation when it's gonna again challenge your ego, because you have to break ego, especially if you're like teacher teaching something. You will find yourself in the same situation like you were like years ago, doing probably like a different type of practices, but you didn't go deeper. You didn't, I don't know, went to the India, did all the hours of the yoga so you could teach yoga, for example. Like I can use that example, right? So I was always refusing to teach yoga because I always felt that I don't have enough hours put into it, and I do not have I don't want to say that I'm not competent to teach it, but more like I didn't have the hours. Right now I have the hours, so I can teach yoga, but I still, you know, kind of do not want to do that or something like that. But you might find yourself again experiencing the rejection what you experienced in the past, because there is a fragmentation. I actually understood that, sorry that you cannot really see me. Yeah, because it's really, you know, it's getting really dark. And it's raining. So I've been rejected a million times in the art world. And I experienced it again. And I found out, I lied down, I was like, it doesn't really matter. Like, I don't want to really go there anyway. Because I was thinking like, oh my God, again, the begging and the paperwork, like what you have to fill up for the funding. And I was like, I'm not a fucking beggar in here, you know, why I'm gonna be begging at the door constantly, oh please, and competing. The moment when I find out that funding I'm asking for is actually being in a competitive field and competing with everyone, I was like, no, fuck it. So it didn't really matter for me that the guy replied to me really like this cold. I got rejected, but as a chosen one, you will get rejected. You have to get used to that. You will being dragged there just to let you know that you not belong there. So you will be challenged if you're gonna like lower your standards, if you're gonna dilute yourself, if you're gonna you know, buy into like you know, I mean, if you are in a competitive field, are you gonna compete or by why you doing it? Let's say why you are taking someone else's yoga class after someone else in the studio. You are still in the 3D, you know, no matter if it's a Kundalini yoga studio or whatever type of studio it is, it's still 3D. Unless you're not running your own one, that's this, I mean, those studios what are around the world, even if it's a Kundalini yoga, that doesn't mean they doing the right thing. You know, there is distortions in it as well. And on top of that, you practically looking on your own insecurities of running your own business, you know, and jumping on your own. Just constantly like these, like, you know, keeping little things around just to kind of like, you know, that it's not, you're not fully in. And you will be waking up now with this like desperation nearly for being in your purpose. You know, it's, and stay there for a while. You know, stay for a while there. in that brokenness, get rejected. Rejection is nothing but redirection. Rejection is universe saying, not this way, not here, and I have something better for you. But you have to first show up as well in the like a trust and stop to be frustrated. And everything what you are experiencing right now is preparing you for where you're going. We're gonna be all moved. But let's say I needed to drop the ideology that I belong to the art world. I don't belong there actually. So I'm not gonna be asking for the funding. And I was like, oh my God, thank God. Otherwise I would again spend like hours and hours with like doing this thing and reading all the stuff, filling up the paperwork and then begging and competing in the art world just to get like a fucking funding for the year so I can take a Sabbath. No way, like, you know, you need to learn how to manifest. So if you recognize that, let's say, for example, I realize that I am more of a, even though I'm an artist, I'm more of a shaman and alchemist. It's like there is no label that I can put on myself. I always get stuck when I have to write, you know, describe my practices in art world. Is amazing. Okay, I'm a conscious artist. I meditate and I put my pen on the paper and it goes. Whatever comes through. So I'm either exploring subconscious or superconscious. That's it. Period. Nobody is gonna buy into it. They all need the fluff and all the ego stuff, like, you know, and the bachelor degrees, which I don't have. But I have results, so, you know, it's kind of interesting. We're gonna be playing on like how many papers you have, how many you don't, what you are willing to, I don't want to say sacrifice, but what you are willing to put into your freedom, you know. Just like shortly I have to go under the voltage, so I will have to cut it out. You hear the freeway for sure. It's muddy. Not sure if I'm gonna go that way. Yeah, totally my Matrix outfit. Okay, you guys. Yeah, I will get back to you because that book about codependency is phenomenal. It totally shifted a lot of things in my life. I mean, I couldn't understand anger. So Wicked Games and Flowers in the Mind. Wicked Games are gonna be the family lineages, like entanglement and like curses and ancestral patterns that we are constantly replaying, like not qualified, not good enough, unworthiness, not supported, abandoned by the God. That's all codependency actually. I found it there. I was like, wow, I didn't know that's there, but it makes everything clear, because I always thought it's the alcohol, but actually the problem that, you know, everybody is like looking always on the alcoholic, but nobody is actually looking on those who are actually living with those people, and actually that makes you a codependent. And it's a big one. It will leak in everywhere, anything you do, and it's this weird feeling of constant anger, hatred, righteousness, resentment, punishment. You know, like you be really rough, for example. Yeah. So that's what my discovery is now. Like, I'm definitely gonna read the entire book. I'm already like heavy in it, reading it. So I'm gonna sharing some stuff around it that you can detangle yourself, because that's a big thing. You know, it's nearly if you are 40 years in it, every single relationship you have is gonna be looking like that way, you know, and it's gonna be stopping you from progressing further. You'll be constantly clinging and constantly like creating codependent jobs and relationships or whatever it is. Yeah, I see you soon. I hope that helps you, and thank you so much for like writing me down their messages. That makes me happy.